Well, he's out after less than a week in Cook County Jail. Jessie. The Illinois Appellate Court has deemed it necessary to release Jussie Smollet from Cook County after less than 6 days to go over his appeal, because they said that his entire sentence could have been served before the appeal was ever heard. So, yeah, he walked out a free man on Wednesday after only drinking water for an entire 6 days, according to his defense team. He was completely silent as he exited and basically has been drinking only clear liquids. Yep. So let's dive into this entire story, shall we?
Keto and crime, keto and crime. We uncover the grime on keto and crime. Keto and crime, keto and crime. Now is the time for keto and crime.
Hey everyone, Tracy here from Keto and Crime. Thank you so much to every single one of my patrons and channel members. You make this possible. And you're one of the reasons I do this. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And if I haven't said it before, thank you. I'll sing it. Thank you. Thank you for hanging in there with me and letting me geek out, not making fun of me like a lot of other people do, because I like weird stuff about crime and dark history. Thanks, everyone. Well. Jussie is back in the news, y'all. This case just doesn't go away. As you all know from news reports in my previous video, which I'll link right up there, Jussie was sentenced last Thursday to basically 150 days in Cook County Jail, $25,000 fine, $124,000 and change in restitution to the city of Chicago for all the money wasted on this false investigation, and 30 months of probation, which the essentially 4 months that he's going to be spending in Cook County Jail will come off of that, so he will be doing 26 months of probation, and it started immediately. He literally was taken from the courtroom to the Cook County Jail in very dramatic fashion, as you all saw in my video, screaming, "I'm not suicidal," raising the fist that he was innocent and that this was kind of a travesty of justice.
No, I would just like to say to Your Honor that I am not suicidal. That's what I would like to say.
Okay.
I am not suicidal.
Okay.
I am not suicidal. I am innocent, and I am not suicidal. If I did this, then it means that I stuck my fist in the fears of Black Americans in this country for over 400 years and the fears of the LGBTQ community. Your Honor, I respect you and I respect the jury, but I did not do this. And I am not suicidal. And if anything happens to me when I go in there, I did not do it to myself. And you must all know that. I respect you, Your Honor. I respect your decision. Jail time. I am not suicidal.
Okay. Mr.
I am not suicidal.
Stop laughing about black.
I am not suicidal. And I am innocent. I could have said that I was guilty a long time ago.
Now, immediately, his lawyers filed for a stay of sentence that was denied on the spot. So they were trying to kind of get him out pending their potential appeals. You can see two of his attorneys there with him in this picture. Basically, he was taken into custody, and almost immediately his defense wheels started turning. His family, who still believe he's innocent, even with a huge amount of evidence stating exactly the opposite. They still believe in his innocence, and they've taken to social media citing racism and everything else for him getting jail time. I really, really think that narcissism runs deep in this family. Now, I'm like Dr. Grande. I don't diagnose. I'm not a professional, unlike Dr. Grande, who is. But if you want to see a great video on narcissism and Jussie, check out Dr. Grande's video. I'll link it right up here. However, I believe that he and his family really thought that he was not going to serve any jail time for this. I think they all felt like I did because of this has high friends in entertainment and other areas that he would get community service and nothing more. I honestly believe that's what they thought. And so I think they were in utter shock when the judge did slap some jail time on there. According to the judge, he could be sentenced up to 3 years in state prison, even though he was convicted of 5 charges of citing a false police report, faking a hate crime. And but everybody, seemed to think that that meant 15 years. But according to the judge, his interpretation was up to 3 years in Illinois state prison. However, instead of sentencing to that, he only gave him 150 days, roughly 4 months, in Cook County Jail. Now, Cook County Jail is a rough place. In fact, let's look at some of the statistics on Cook County. This from the website correctionalofficer.org. It's basically a former corrections officer that worked at Cook County Jail talking about life there. He said it's one of the roughest places that you could possibly serve time. It's rougher than any prison at the state or federal level. It is one of the largest single site jails in the nation. It used to have an electric chair until Illinois outlawed that particular mode of execution. And it literally houses some of the roughest killers in the country who are there for life with no possibility of parole. So Cook County Jail houses hardened criminals, not just petty thieves and petty criminals that are waiting for their trial or on very short sentences. It almost operates like a prison on its own. According to this particular officer, he said that people fighting, blood being swept up and mopped up off the floor every day, including those inmates that had HIV and AIDS, and there were rat bites were a common complaint among inmates as the creatures just scurried free everywhere. It's a pretty old jail, so it's yeah. According to them, as of 2015, they had for every 10,000 full-time correctional officers that worked at Cook County Jail, 420 sustained workplace injuries severe enough to miss work. There was an average of 16,000 correctional officers that were injured on the job total in 2015. And there are over 500 attacks per year by inmates on correctional officers. 113 COs have died on the job there. And 30% of those were from assaults or other acts of violence. Instead of like environmental accidents, these were attacks by prisoners. And of course, the details on how many inmates die there is, kind of questionable, but let's just say it's above the national average. So Cook County Jail is not a place where you really want to be. So after looking at the situation, I think the judge sentenced him to a very, very harsh stint in a very, very harsh place. But of course, Jussie isn't going to spend any time in the general population. He was immediately put into protective custody based on a petition from his defense team, and he was housed, ironically, after screaming, "I'm not suicidal," in the psych ward from the time he was took into the jail until this week, when he was actually, due to pressure from social media and the fact that another inmate needed the psych ward cell more, he was moved, still within the same psych ward, to another cell where he is now under 24-hour observation by correctional officers, which sounds like suicide watch to me. But he also is allowed his normal time outside the cell, just as much as any other inmate. But because he is in protective custody, he cannot, no other inmates can be either in the break room, any common areas, the yard, wherever they go. He has those things to himself when he's out. He's in a 12 by 12 cell, people watching him, and he gets to be in and out when all the other prisoners are in their cells or in other areas of the jail. And just today, his attorneys have fully filed an appeal, appealing the sentence to the Court of Appeals there in Illinois, and they have also requested that he be released pending the appeal. Now, the appeal could take 2 weeks, it could take 3 months, it could take a year. And on those very grounds that he could potentially have served the entire sentence before he has his right to his constitutionally granted appeal, they had decided to release him. So he was taken from that protective custody, from that suicide watch situation, after, like I said, having basically complete and utter privacy, something else that none of the other inmates would get, and is now released until his appeal is heard. Now, if his appeal goes badly for him, he's going to go right back in there with credit for the 6 days he served. And if it goes well, then he probably won't serve another day. So that's kind of the state of the Jussie Smollett case. He's still trying to get away with it, y'all. Still trying to get away with it. I'll keep you informed on this as more developments come in. And until next time, 𝐥𝐞𝐭'𝐬.